Welcome to the Orphan No More podcast, brought to you by Orphan No More Foundation, which exists to partner with the church to help kids without families become orphans no more. My name is Shaq, and in today's story, we're going to hear from Jackson and Paige White, who are still in the adoption process, and how the Lord has both guided them in a direction they weren't expecting to go, and how the Lord has provided along the way.
Hi, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Paige, and we have two girls, Farris and Rylee.
And welcome to our story.
So Jackson and I began talking about adoption when we were dating. We both kind of had a heart for it, and after we got married, we have two girls of our own. We decided that it was time for us to adopt. God had put that call on our hearts, and it was time. So we got to looking into it. We started out going the international adoption route. It was, we felt called to adopt from Haiti, but with the civil unrest there, he led us in a different direction. And we started looking into domestic adoption, and eventually we were led to Hope's Bridge, which is a foster care and adoption program. So it kind of works like DCS, but it's nonprofit and it's a Christian organization. So the kids don't get put into the DCS foster care system or the state foster care system.
Yeah, so Paige and I, there again, just both felt the call to do it. I started feeling the call to adopt even when I was in my early 20s before I ever knew Paige. And of course, Paige grew up in a children's home. Her parents were house parents at a children's home here in Cookeville. And so we began talking, even dating about, do we go that route, or do we just adopt? Or not just adopt, but do we adopt? And we both settled on adoption because there again, it's such a cool representation of the gospel and what Jesus did for us. And but Paige she's done a lot of the grunt work. I mean, she's, of course, she stays here with the kids and does her photography business. And usually when I'm at work, she's handling the phone calls, the fundraising, the yard sale stuff, she's the rock star here, and I'm just been kind of the court gesture, just kind of doing what I need to do and just kind of doing what she needs me to do. But this has been a really neat process. There's been some bumps in the road, or what we thought to be bumps in the road, starting off at Haiti and then going domestic, and then even more centralizing on Hope's Bridge. It's just cool to see how God has maneuvered this. And even, there's things that we still don't really know why they happened, and we may not for a long time, but we do know that we are where we're supposed to be now in this phase of adoption.
Yeah, so like he said, I grew up in a children's home, and my parents were actually the first house parents at this children's home. We were with it from the beginning, even during the fundraising part of it. It was something that the timing of it, God was very faithful in it. We didn't know if it would take us away or keep us here, close to home. And my parents were just very trusting in the Lord in that. And it honestly has kind of helped us in this process in trusting God, and wherever he takes us through this adoption process. But this children's home I grew up, it was a boys' home that we lived in, me and my biological brother, and then all these other brothers were added to my family. And honestly, they just needed a place that the families would invest in their lives and genuinely care about their relationship with the Lord, one, and also preparing them for the future and loving them and showing them, how to be men of God and men in this world. And so when we had two girls, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, what? This is new, because I grew up with a bunch of boys. And I still consider them family, still consider them my brothers.
One you practically adopted.
Yes,
Yeah.
one
He's in all the family pictures. And,
yeah, his kids now are our kids' cousins. And,
yeah.
And honestly, we're like that with several of the boys. But it was a sweet time that I am very thankful for. And honestly, that's what started to cultivate my heart for adoption, was the children's home that I grew up in.
Our prayer is that we would just, this may sound cliche or tongue-in-cheek or whatever, but our prayers is we'd be in step with the Holy Spirit, and that we wouldn't try to get ahead of Him, but also we've been praying for whoever our future kid is, that they would even, that God would even attach our hearts together already.
Something that I am most excited about is just getting to love on this kiddo, and welcoming them into our home and seeing how they just, I'm just trusting that God is like going to make it fit, you know?
Honestly, I'm just excited to hold the baby for the first time, whether it's a newborn or a year old. I do miss having little ones around. I mean, our girls are still little, but little enough to where they don't, elbow drop you when you're not looking. So I'm just excited to hold a baby again, and I'm also excited to hold a baby that, that we can provide just a safe place for, and raise them up in the things of Jesus, and just give them a life that they may not have had otherwise.
Thanks for listening. Maybe you saw yourself in their story in some way, shape, or form. Maybe the Lord is calling you to foster adoption or to support those that do. If you feel called to foster or to adopt, we want to help you with your next steps. Go to orphannomorefoundation.org/next steps to let us know how you feel the Lord might be calling you to get involved. You can also become a part of our family tree through financial support and prayer as we come alongside families to tell their stories and to support their efforts through grants. Go to orphannomorefoundation.org/family tree for more information. Everything that you give goes to helping kids without parents become orphans no more. Until next time.